somos extranjeros, que nuestra familia y amigos, como dice Carla, están en otro país, lejos. Entonces sí, viene muy bien el programa para apoyarse tanto emocional y como anímicamente y bueno, en varios aspectos del programa que nos ayuda a seguir adelante con esta nueva aventura.
Don't be afraid to take that step. Like, don't be afraid to get help. Because, you might think that you know what you're doing, but it's always okay to have extra support, and don't do it alone.
Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. It's free. I'm grateful that I took advantage because it's something that has put me in touch with my child or closer to my child and her development.
Personally, I think everybody could benefit from the home visiting programs.
I think that as a parent now, I'm grateful for support more than I was before.
I filled out that form not knowing what I was doing. I am very, very grateful that I did it because it's really helping me a lot.
Bueno, creo que por mi parte esperaba algo totalmente diferente, como un programa más frío, por decir algo, no tan cercano a la familia. Y a través del programa nos hemos dado cuenta que también pasa a ser una familia con nosotros porque nos apoya en los momentos difíciles o cuando nos hemos visto en dificultades.
Well, I was a new mom and I had no experience taking care of a newborn.
There isn't like a book on how to raise a kid.
We come from like a lot of family history of, drugs, violence, alcoholism, so we didn't want our daughter to experience any of that.
The thought that a parent was supposed to be loving, nurturing, supposed to be there for their kid, provide food, shelter, joy, and going in, becoming a parent for her, I had no clue how to provide that.
Cómo pensar educarla, cómo educar a un hijo porque pues nosotros nunca, es la primera vez que íbamos a ser padres.
What I think parents should know about home visiting is that you can learn a lot of new things and tips and tricks, how to take care of the baby and what to do, and if you're, stuck in a routine and everything being monotonous, like they give you new resources and new tools how to handle parenthood.
It was nice to have them kind of guiding me, even though I was not a first-time mom. I felt like a first-time mom.
It totally blew my mind over time. So much information that I had no idea about. She was straightforward when, teaching me this stuff and answered any of my questions. It's just a really positive experience.
What I think that parents could benefit with the program is just having someone here for you, especially for first-time parents. It can be very isolating and it can be very lonely, and having the home visitor changes that and it feels very good.
For me, having a home visitor is like having a second mom there.
A lot has changed. I'm definitely more knowledgeable taking care of her, and I know that anytime I need advice or help from somebody, I can just call her.
It's just that little positive nudge to, hey, I'm noticing something, let's find a way how to change it. And she's like, you know what, Amanda, let's pick you up, dust you off, and let's go over to...
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order today's Planning Commission meeting of May 2nd, 2024. Today's meeting is a hybrid meeting of the Planning Commission with participants both in person and digitally. The public may participate digitally in meetings by sending comments to pbscommissions@mendocinocounty.gov or orally via telecomment in lieu of personal attendance. All public comment will be made available to commissioners, staff, and the general public after processing by staff and can be viewed as attachments to this meeting agenda on the Planning Commission agenda page. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Babini,
Yes.
Commissioner Purnell,
Here.
and Chair Pollen,
Here.
and Commissioner Jones and Wiedemann are absent by prearrangement.
Do we have a determination of legal notice?
Legal notice has been determined on the matter on the agenda.
Great. Do we have a director's report?
Good morning, Commissioners. Russ Ford, Senior Planner. The Director had a conflict, so she was not able to be here today, but I did want to inform the Commission that on Tuesday, staff met with the EMC Planning Group Incorporated, which is the first consultant to have been selected for work on the LCP update. So they'll be working on the visual resources chapter related to things like highly scenic areas. So we provided them a bunch of the mapping data, and then Nash took them for a tour up the coast. So the work on the LCP is officially kicked off, which is pretty exciting. I believe we tentatively have agendized for your next meeting on the 16th a report about the LCP. And I have this morning.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Abstention? All right. Moving on. Matters from the public. Members of the public are welcome to address the Planning Commission on items not listed on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission is prohibited by law from taking action on matters not on the agenda. Individuals wishing to address the Planning Commission under matters from the public may do so in person, via email, or Zoom. If any members of the public logged into the Zoom meeting wish to speak under public expression, please use the raise hand feature to allow staff to add you to the meeting. Do we have any requests for telecomment under public expression?
I did not receive any telecomment forms.
Great. Do we have any raised hands on?
No raised hands on Zoom.
Great, and I'm not seeing anyone in the audience rushing. All right, we'll close public expression. We'll be moving on to the consent calendar, which there is nothing on. So we will move past the consent calendar. And we will hear now item 6A of the regular calendar. This is item UR_2023-000 McGuire. This is a renewal of a use permit modification UM 12-2002/2012 to allow an existing cellular antenna facility to remain. The renewal would be granted for a 10-year period. I'll now open the public hearing on this matter. Has there been any correspondence or telephone calls received?
All items that were received were posted to the website.
Thank you very much. May we have a staff presentation, please?
Good morning, Commissioners. Keith Gronendijk, planner on this project.
Keith, could you get the microphone a little closer? We can hear you, but if anyone's listening from further afield, they won't be able to.
Okay, it's Keith Gronendijk, planner on this project, presenting it for former planner Stephen Switzer. This is a use permit 2023-0008. Property owner is Thomas McGuire. And this is a Fort Bragg cell tower use permit renewal. The applicant is California Rural Service Area number 1. The agent is Tracy Malone of Falk and Foster. Here is a site plan of the project site with the little yellow starburst as being the location of the tower. The tower is an existing 150-foot tall self-supported lattice tower that was originally permitted and constructed prior to 2002. Several modifications for antenna additions and changes have been approved over the years, with the most recent being in 2012. That permit was granted for a period of 10 years and expired as of May 17, 2022. This permit would renew the use of the tower for an additional 10 years from that date, setting a new expiration date of May 17th, 2032. The location is 21929 Bald Hill Road. And this, I just kind of summarized all of this. There are no, okay, no. And here's an aerial photo of the shot supplied by the applicant. This is the lattice tower, and I think this is the 50-foot, there's a 50-foot tower as well. And here's a picture from Google Earth, gives a better representation. So here's the tower and a bunch of satellite dishes down here. So all of the required findings for this project have been made, and staff has found that Class 1, Section 15301 of the CEQA guidelines, consisting of the operation, repair, maintenance, permitting, leasing, licensing, or minor alteration of existing public or private structures, facilities, mechanical equipment, or topographical features involving negligible or no expansion of existing or former use, which would include the renewal of a use permit for a wireless communication facility, is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. Staff recommends by resolution to approve a use permit renewal UR 2023-0008 as proposed by the applicant, based on the facts and findings and subject to the conditions of approval contained in Exhibit A of the resolution. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners for staff?
I did have one. We, this is a application. And I was looking at the conditions, which seem light in comparison to a new application. And I'm going by memory here about some of the other conditions that we've seen for new use permits for cell tower facilities. I think we've seen more about access easement, road management.
Commissioner Parnell, could you speak closer to your microphone?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds really loud to me, but
Yeah.
okay. And then also, I've seen some conditions related to fire safety, fire mitigation. I don't know if we need those for this use permit update, but I was just curious if when we do extend the use permits, are we looking to get the conditions up to current standards for a new project? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, Russ Ford, Senior Planner. Condition number 10, you'll see on there, future modification shall conform to the wireless communication facilities guidelines. So that was kind of an attempt to tie it to the current guidelines going forward, since this tower significantly predates those guidelines. If there were some other conditions that you felt would be appropriate, you're welcome to add those.
Okay, yeah, and I don't have any concerns specific to this application. I was just sort of curious what our overall goal is in a case like this. So that sounds good. I guess the follow-up question then, since those wireless communication facilities development guidelines are starting to be a little bit aged, is it on the radar anywhere to update those?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Bebiani, do you have any questions?
Did not. I definitely feel like we've seen quite a few of these come through for renewal, and the conditions seemed fairly similar to the ones we've had in at least the past 6 months. I did not have any concerns with them.
Okay, thank you. All right then, do we have the applicant on the line?
The applicant is not online.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on this?
I have no raised hands on Zoom.
Okay. Great then. Staff, do you have any final remarks?
I just wanted to note for the record that the property that the towers are located on is currently subject to a connect contract, but because there were no tower or the use, no impacts to the contract were expected, so it was addressed in the staff.
Thank you. All right. Do any commissioners have any additional questions or comments for anyone? None? All right, I'll close the public hearing at this point. The matter is now before the Planning Commission. If there's any further discussion, I will invite a motion on this.
I move to approve use permit renewal UR 28-08 as proposed by the applicant, based on the facts and findings and subject to the conditions of approval contained in Exhibit A of the.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Babini,
Yes.
Commissioner Purnell,
Yes.
Chair Pollan.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on, agenda item number 7, matters from staff. Are there any additional items from staff today?
Nothing from us today, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8, matters from commission. Any commissioners have any items that they want for consideration?
Just wondering if we have an update on the draft zoning ordinance availability for the commission's review.
I believe you're getting a fairly comprehensive update of the LCP and the zone next meeting on May 16th. I'll defer to that future.
And I just had one other question. I know that the Redwood Valley gas station appeal did go in front of the planning or the supervisors. And can you just give us a quick update? They decided to get some more information before making a decision. Is that correct?
Correct. It was continued to the I believe the May 7th meeting, which will be this upcoming Tuesday, to collect some more information to make some findings. And I also believe that an updated transportation study from the applicant was just submitted last week.
Okay.
Sounds like there's some discussion that will need to happen.
Thank you. Items from the commission? All right. Well, then I will move on to our final agenda item of the day, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.